Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode. Everyone knows the stress of having to leave the house at the last minute to go on vacation. Call me? Yes, check. Cards for credit? Yes, check. That one special fuzzy bear that helps me sleep at night and that I'm not ashamed to still have? Yes, check. A passport? It might be the most important thing to check. This story makes you wonder how carefully these people went through their list and what terrible things can happen if you don't check your list. Jenna was going on her first big trip ever with her dad, stepmom, and two stepbrothers. She was 14 years old. Since her parents broke up, she was happier than she had ever been. The tough young girl was upset about her parents' split, but she had a strong will that wasn't easily broken. What happened at the airport, on the other hand, would leave her mentally scarred for life? Jenna was 11 years old when Susie and Brad split up. Jenna could remember the day like it was yesterday. She felt like someone punched her in the gut when she heard the news. Part of her broke that day, but she was strong and kept working. She had no idea that the small fights between her parents would make her remember that day for the rest of her life. The day had finally come. Jenna had been telling everyone at school and in her neighborhood about this trip for weeks. Excitement wasn't enough of a word. As she carefully rolled her carefully packed bag into the airport, she felt jitters in her stomach. She had never been on a big trip before this one. Because her parents didn't like each other very much, they never took her on vacation. So being invited with her dad's new family meant a lot to her. She joined a new family. Jenna was about to find out something that would make her stomach drop like a rock. It was time for the big event that was on your list. She had everything she needed with her, but her mom told her not to worry about her passport because her dad was in charge of it. There were no jitters in her as they got close to the cranky, overworked ticket clerk. Her father was in charge. Up until he didn't. Jenna asked her dad, "Dad, do you have my passport?" with a smile. "Sure, honey." Brad smiled and fumbled around in his pockets for a moment before pulling out a passport that looked like it had been through a lot more than the rest of the family. When Brad gave it to the ticket agent, she looked at it with her eyes squinted and her brow furrowed. Jenna's heart stopped in its tracks at what she said next. The ticket worker looked at him and Jenna with suspicious eyes and asked, "Sir, do you know that this passport expires in 2 months?" "It does?" Brad asked. "Oh my God. Her mom was in charge, and I was told everything was fine." He didn't mean to ask, "Is everything okay, madam?" Jenna's heart would break when the clerk said the next thing. "If her visa is valid for less than 6 months, I'm sorry, but I can't let her fly." "Sir, that's how things usually work," the unhappy ticket worker said. "I know that." Brad yelled in anger. "I know Susie did this, I can't believe she did it. Once more she does it." Brad said through clenched teeth, his forehead veins popping. Jennifer saw the whole thing happen in front of her like a sad play that she wished was only a play but was actually her life. She was going to be forgotten and left out. Jenna wasn't important to anyone. As she looked at her dad, tears began to form in the corner of her eyes. What was he going to do? At this point, Brad's new partner, Samantha, began to go crazy. She had saved up for this trip for 2 years and thought Jenna was a great kid. She was also angry inside that her partner's ex would ruin everything in such a mean way. Brad looked at her. "Honey, I'm really sorry. You make the call. I know you planned the trip. I'm lost." He said, "I can't believe her." At this point, Jenna was unable to move. Sam looked at Jenna and then at her own 2 children, Abby and Andrew. Jenna's life was changed forever by her answer. Sam told Brad to call his dad and have him pick up the 14-year-old. This trip would only happen once, and she had saved a lot of money for it. Even though she felt mean, Jenna wasn't her kid. She still thought of herself as a bad witch after this. As she watched the poor girl cry so hard she couldn't stop, her heart broke for her. She was sure she would always hate herself for what she had done. Because of what she did, the trip turned out to be very bad. Jenna couldn't calm down, so Brad's dad picked her up and took her home, leaving her with the rest of the family. Brad didn't say a word after Jenna left, and it was clear that he was in a lot of pain. "Why is Jenna not here?" Abby said in a sad voice, We wanted her here to have fun with us. Sam felt like the meanest Disney bad guy ever at that very moment. From then on, the holiday got worse. As Jenna looked out the window of the plane, she thought about what Brad's ex-girlfriend had done. Jenna knew she was lying when she said it was an honest mistake. Susie still cared about Brad and didn't like that he had a new family. So Jenna saw it. This wasn't the first time she had tried to hurt her, and Samantha felt beaten. She looked out at the sky and thought about Jenna. She knew this would have the worst possible effect on her forever. She promised to make it up to her when they got back, she told herself. She swore to herself that her mother would pay for what she did to her. That's it for today, friends. Please let us know what you think about this story. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon for more amazing stories.